In the wake of the brutal attack, Usman was left broken, his body battered, but his spirit unyielding. Hidden away in a secluded hut on the outskirts of the village, he clung to life, his heart filled with thoughts of Amina. Word of his condition reached her ears, and despite the danger, Amina knew she had to see him. In the dead of night, she made her way to his side, her eyes brimming with tears as she saw the man she loved lying before her, weakened but alive. Usman reached out to her, his hand trembling but his grip firm. In that moment, Amina knew that the time for her final decision had come. Returning home with a newfound resolve, Amina could no longer live in the shadow of others' expectations. With a steady voice, she stood before her parents and spoke her truth. She told them of her love for Usman, of the treachery she had uncovered, and of the path she had chosen for herself. Her mother, Hawa, was taken aback, her heart torn between pride and fear. Amina's father, stern and unyielding, struggled with the idea of defying tradition. But Amina's words were like a river cutting through stone, steady and unstoppable. She had made her choice, and now it was time for them to understand. Meanwhile, Bello was not a man who accepted defeat easily. The news of Amina's defiance reached him like a slap to the face. In his grand mansion, he seethed with anger, his mind racing with plans to regain control. He knew that Amina's family was the key to bringing her back under his influence. If he could break them, he could break her. Bello summoned his most loyal men, instructing them to tighten their grip on Amina's family, using threats and coercion to force them to reconsider. But this time, Bello underestimated the strength of Amina's resolve and the power of love. Amina knew that her love for Usman and her family's honor could not coexist within the bounds of tradition. To save Usman and her family, she had to take the ultimate risk. Before the village elders, she made a final plea. She revealed Bello's true nature, the deceit and corruption that lay behind his wealth and power. Her voice, though soft, carried the weight of truth. The elders, bound by tradition but also by justice, listened intently. Amina's words were not just a plea, they were a sacrifice. She knew that by defying Bello publicly, she was placing herself and her family in even greater danger. But for the sake of love, for the sake of her future, it was a sacrifice she was willing to make. Word spread quickly through the village of Amina's brave stand. But just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a figure appeared in the village square. Usman, though still weakened from his ordeal, had returned. His presence alone was enough to stir the hearts of the villagers, who had witnessed the injustices that had been done. Usman's return was not just an act of love, it was a challenge to the very foundation of Bello's power. The villagers, emboldened by Amina's courage and Usman's resilience, began to speak out, their voices rising in support of the young lovers. The tide had turned. The village elders, swayed by Amina's testimony and Usman's courage, began to question Bello's authority. His own men, once loyal, now saw the cracks in the facade of the man they had followed. The village that once feared Bello now stood united against him. Cornered and exposed, Bello could do nothing but watch as his empire crumbled around him. The power he had so carefully cultivated slipped through his fingers, leaving him with nothing but the remnants of a shattered reputation. His downfall was swift, and as he was led away by the elders, the village breathed a collective sigh of relief. With Bello's downfall, the village found peace once more. Amina and Usman, their love tested by trials and strengthened by sacrifice, stood together by the river where their journey had begun. The dawn of a new day broke over the horizon, bathing the world in a warm, golden light. They knew that their future would not be without challenges, but they would face them together, hand in hand. The village, once bound by tradition, now embraced the change brought by love and courage. Amina and Usman's story would be told for generations, not just as a tale of love, but as a testament to the power of the human spirit. As the first light of day touched the water, they knew that this was only the beginning of their journey, a journey filled with hope, love, and the promise of a new tomorrow.